What? X Harper here, WWE2k19 with a creation video today. Now, just so that you know, in terms of my universe mode, I'm going to try my best to get a video out today, to get both videos out, but I've actually spent most of my morning working on a creation. Now, while I'm in here, I'm just going to show you who I downloaded this from so that you can see. So this is all about X-Pac. So I'm just going to literally search for X-Pac so that you guys can see who I got and where I got him from, because it's really important that you know the model that I'm working with before we actually get into the game. Okay, so it's this X-Pac here. It's okay, great. The top X-Pac download is there. You can see that right now. So that's, I'm not saying it's the best one. I like this guy. This one looks pretty good, but that one to me looks decent. A quick look down to see if there's any others. That's my road dog. Shout out to my road dog. Okay, so it's the top one. So what I'm going to do here is show downloaded that X-Pac. Basically, I hated the attire, and it's not that the, you know, I don't want to slag the guy off because he made a really good creation, but the attire itself didn't look great, and I was just like so frustrated that X-Pac looked so good for a face scan, but then when I got him in the ring, it just didn't look anything like X-Pac's outfit, and it was just very frustrating. So for the last sort of few weeks, it's been sitting there as a project that I said I was going to do one day. I should let you know, I don't usually work on attires. Attires are not my thing. I've started learning because I've had to force myself to understand how to create better, more authentic attires. So with that said, let's jump into X-Pac, and you're going to see straight away how he looks. And this is the X-Pac that I've designed. I've just spent the whole morning doing this, and what I want to do is tell you exactly what I did just to change this outfit, so that unfortunately you're not going to be able to download this, because as far as I'm aware I can't re-download this X-Pac. But what I can do is I can share with you some tips on certain areas of the attire so that you can at least make it look as close to the authentic X-Pac, or the X-Pac that you want, whichever one, really doesn't bother me. So I'm just going to go through some of the changes that I made. Now let's start with the free mode so that I can just zoom in here. The first thing that I changed, I gave him eyebrows, and then what I did, I took the opacity down on the eyebrows, and in the face deformation menu, I physically moved his eyebrows down slightly and lowered the corners in particular, so that his eyebrows actually look more realistic to X-Pac's. I also had to take out his eyelashes because I'd run out of parts. The other thing I did was I made his facial hair black, because the guy who created this made it brown. His facial hair is not brown, it's black. If you go on any video, it's the same color as his hair. So just match his hair color, and you're going to get a much more authentic looking X-Pac in terms of the facial hair. So that was the first change that I've made that you guys can change very, very quickly and easily. And I think that will instantly make a difference to the way that your X-Pac looks. Secondly, let's move on to the attires. Now, in terms of its attire, I've just given him a very generic one. I've changed it a couple of times, so that gives you when you first download X-Pac, but for me, I went back in and I just gave him the X-Pac, the DX t-shirt, the glasses. I changed the glasses, so what I did with the glasses was the same as I always do. I make the actual glass lens metallic as a texture because it reflects light better, so it looks more like glass. And then the actual material for the glasses are plastic, and I made the headband and a denim because denim allows me to get a truer black than the cloth or the default settings. So that's what I did with those. The t-shirt is the t-shirt. I darkened the black a little bit, but that was it. Now on to, I think, what you guys will probably want to know about more, the attire. How did I do that? So let's just come out of here actually, because I need to go into the other actual attire to show you what I did. Let's bring this up. So this is my X-Pac. I haven't changed anything in terms of what outfit has been used. All I've done is added a few elements that I will try and get onto community creations if you want those. But you need to ask me, like this video, subscribe, let me know about what you think. Tell me. I need you to talk to me so that I know that this is actually what you want me to do, and then I will upload it because I will create space for you lovely people. Now, the clothing, upper body, the outfit's here, and it's just that one that you can see. Now, all I did was to get these parts here. So we're looking, I'm going to do the crotch shot, I apologize, but as you can see, there is a slight black line on top. I'm new to this content creation style. Like I said, I've never done attires before. In hindsight, what I would change is I would completely erase all of the black in Photoshop and then just move from there. But what I did, I matched the color green in the game. So this is a good tip for you. If you create something in Photoshop on the game, make sure, and I mean this, make sure that you check the RGB colors so that when you actually come into the game itself, you can match the color directly to what you've used in Photoshop. That way you get the exact color match that you need in the game. The other thing that you could do is the reverse. You can just make a note of the color that you've used in the game, and then when you jump into Photoshop, again, you can just make sure that the color works. Now, so I made these logos, one for the front, one for the back. The logo for the back could have been a bit better. I could have arched the white line, but to be honest, when I looked at it, it really doesn't look that bad. Ass and crotch shots all over the place in this video, but you know, I could have arched it a little bit more. But I really think that I've nailed that. What I did next, and this is something that's quite interesting, I'm going to have to go on to the lower body because I want to show you, while I'm talking about this, I want to show you the tights as well so that it's all relevant. The tights I used are these ones here, and they have like these panels down the side of the legs, but they're actually not straight, they're textured, they're like rigid edges. And so what I wanted to do was make those edges straight like X-Pac's attire. Now I gave it a couple of goes and I worked out a good system to actually do this. And the first time I did it, and you'll see it here, it's not that great. Let me just come out and go in. I want to be able to zoom straight in. So what you'll see here on the edge, you'll see a little bit of black poking out there and here. So this was the first attempt, and what I tried to do was make a black line, so hopefully you can see that line there, and that made the whole thing look rectangular, but there was still a couple of pieces sticking out, and I couldn't avoid that. So when I made the white line on top of it, there's still some black poking out. As I did that, later I came back and thought there must be a better way of doing this. So all I did was reverse the process. Instead of using a black line, I matched the green and did a green line. So you can slightly see that green line going down the leg because the creasing obviously doesn't show through. So what I did, I brought that green up to the black line, and that way the whole black panel was in a direct straight line. And then I put the top, and so you end up with this beautiful looking, and I mean, if there's no comparison to me about the quality of this leg versus that one when you can see those little black marks. I couldn't be bothered to go back in and change it. I probably will because it keeps annoying me seeing it, but they're such tiny little marks that for this I've just left it as it is. So that's how I did the legs, and you guys can do all of that without having the logos, without having to design anything. It's a very easy fix. Obviously all I did was lined up the trunk. So this panel, the crotch panel, I actually lined that up first, and I think it's wise for you to do that first. Don't do it second, because you'll end up ruining what you want and how it looks. And I did the same with the back, and I think you can see that it looks really well lined up because I did the top bit first and then worked on the lower legs. Now, working down the body, the next thing I did, and I'm going to show you, is how I got these legs looking the way they are. Now, they're not perfect, and I could go back and do, but this, to get this X-Pac looking the way he does, I had to do so much work that you can see that I've used most of my layers up. Now, one thing I am going to add while I'm in this video, I think, in fact, I'm going to check my laptop while I'm here. I want to know whether X-Pac had anything on his kick pads, because from what I can see in all the videos, you very rarely get to see anything he had on his kick pad. From what I can... Okay, I've found one and it's exactly what I've got, so I'm happy leaving it as is. I'm going to leave it plain, okay? So the kick pads are plain, so I'm not going to do what I was going to do. I was going to put a little X-Pac logo. I was going to put the DX logo on there, but I don't need to. Anyway... The knee pads and the kick pads took me a while to actually work out. When I first created X-Pac, when I first downloaded him, sorry, I actually created stitching where you can see the green lines are, and I just stupidly didn't look at current logos, current outfits that are on the game to actually match. So what I did was go to this AJ Styles boot here. Now AJ's got two styles, I believe, forgive the pun. I believe he's got two. I think there's one at the top because I saw that first and I used that, and then I went in again and used the second design. So let me see if I can find this, because I'm sure there was two designs that I used. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was the same one. There's one. Yeah, there's this design here, and then there's the other one that is much further down. Much. If I've gone past it, it's tough crap. You're going to have to just settle. There you go. So here's the other one, and this is the one that I actually... Right. Then when I saw this, I tried it, and it was perfect. But... the only thing I didn't like was the fact that the calf muscles were expanded, and it made X-Pac's calves look bigger with the knee pads that I was using. So what I did, I just thought I'm going to have a look at some different knee pads, and I will go through that bit next. But what I did with the boots, it's quite obvious what I did. All I did was put this little panel over the top of the designs that are on the kick pads, and as you can see, there's still a little bit showing through. Let me just come out of here, because free mode is always better to show you stuff. What on earth just happened? I don't know why it added that outfit, but that was crazy. He went to like a Pimp Daddy X-Pac for a minute. Right era, but the wrong character. So, let's just go down and show you these up close kick pads. Like I said, you can see there's a bit of an outline. If you can do it better, do it. I'm happy with that because you can hardly see the difference. I could go back in and add more, but again, I ran out of layer parts. I could actually go back and change that now, because I've actually got 3 layer parts, which actually looks like the perfect amount needed to get rid of those 3 little scarring bits. But I might go back and do that later, but for now it's fine. You guys can deal with that if you've got a bit of... Sorry, I'm just checking something. Random pause in my voice. If you've got OCD, then just deal with it for a bit. You'll be able to change it yourself later. The knee pads then, just to finish this clothing off. The knee pads was, again, another bit of experimental work. What I found was that these particular knee pads here, and I don't know whose they are. I think they're Daniel Bryan's. But those knee pads there, they're the top knee pad on the left. They actually squash the calf muscles down, and they overlap the top of the kick pads, which makes the kick pads tighter to the skin, which is more like X-Pac's kick pads were. So because of that, I used it, and then all I did was put I just put a design. I think I did the rectangular design over the top of it, and then I just matched it with the kick pad, with the knee pad material and color. You can sort of see the line there, because obviously when you add any kind of logo, it overrides the creasing. So you get these lines every now and then when you do it this way. But it made the knee pads plain, and it made the kick pads look tighter. So again, that's something I would recommend for you to do when you're creating the kick pads and the knee pads for X-Pac. Now, I do believe that it makes him look a little bit inaccurate on the knee pads, but it's negligible, and I think it's enough that you would let yourself get away with it. Like, for me, it's not a problem. He looks so good overall that I have absolutely no problems with the fact that his knee pads are slightly lower than they probably should be. Now, onto the logo then, just to finish this all up. The logo was simple, but also difficult. I'm going to tell you how I did it, and then hopefully you guys can do it yourselves. And then I'll go on to the stitching after. The logo, I just found a picture of X-Pac. It was a high-res image on Google, and I literally just zoomed into the image, cut out the DX logo around it in a rectangle, so there was a bit of black on it, and then I used the Magic Wand tool in Photoshop, which helps me to delete the black background or any color black background that you have around a logo. You can just use the Magic Wand tool, press delete, and it gets rid of all of those nasty rectangular color that you get, and it brings out a separate image of this logo. And then I created it into a PNG, so you keep the transparency, and that way when you upload it to the attires, you get just the logo itself. Now, the only thing I would change here is that I could have changed the X to match the color green that I've used on the rest of the attire. I might go back and do that, but it looks gold at the moment, so I'm not that bothered that it hasn't. I mean, it doesn't matter to me that it's changed the color slightly. I'm still happy with the way it looks. So that is how I did the logo, and you can do the same. It is fairly easy. I mean, I've learned it all very quickly. I'm not a graphic designer or anything like that, and yet I've still managed to learn all of this on the fly. All I will say is that you absolutely need Photoshop to do it. Now, finally, the last element to X-Pac's attire, obviously to get this green trim around the upper singlet, or whatever you want to call it. I just basically used the stitch element and went around as much as I could. I was running out of the amount of stitching I could use, because I did use an awful lot to do this. But again, I just trimmed it with that green, and again, I think that it's not perfect. I'm not going to deny it. It doesn't look well rendered, but that's life. The point is it makes the edges of the top of the attire actually look authentic to what X-Pac had around his. So that is my X-Pac, and I hope you like it. I love it. I am so happy that I have been able to create it now, because he sits nicely in my universe mode, and is now ready to actually be used in my universe mode. I've tried avoiding him until now because I didn't like the attire that he was given. But that's it. Like I said, I hope you like the video. I hope you like the character that I've created. If you want to copy it, please do. Use this video as a tutorial, as a formula to make X-Pac's attire better, because clearly the guy who made the X-Pac that we all download has done a great job, but he's just slightly fallen short in terms of the attire, and with a little bit of work you can make it look exactly like the X-Pac that we all know and love. So with all that said, thank you to the 27,407 people that have downloaded my content so far. I love every single one of you. I know there's not probably 27,407 individuals who've downloaded, but I love every one of you that has downloaded to make up those numbers. As you can see, this is my content. I'm going to quickly show you this and go through it so you can see what I've actually created. Let's see if you can put note. You see, you can't put X-Pac on. I was going to do something very bad then and put him up so that his attire's on the game. Anyway, here you go. I've got 2 Sandmen. Yeah, that's right. Images, like I said, I think these have kind of slowed down now. I think most of them have kind of peaked. So I'm probably going to delete a couple of these to make room for the X-Pac attire stuff that we need. All the elements that I used, I'll probably just upload so that other people can they want. I'm going to check and make sure nobody else has done that first. My arenas are going all downloading at varying speeds. My favorites are all the WCW pack. Honestly, I've done a great job with those. They are as accurate as you can make them without photoshopping the whole curtain like some creators do. I don't want to do that. I want to use the elements in the game. That's really what pushes my creativity to the next level for me, like using the elements in the game to create an authentic looking arena. And that's what I like to try and do, and I feel like I've been semi-successful with that because of the amount of downloads I'm getting. But Bash at the Beach 96 is a great arena. Road Wild is actually the best one. Road Wild's better than Bash at the Beach, but clearly the audience do not agree slightly. And SummerSlam 95 is an awesome arena. Super Brawl, again, I worked really hard on that one and managed to create that. That was a community request. Somebody asked me to make that. Someone asked me to make Survivor Series. Someone asked me to make King of the Ring. And again, King of the Ring has ended up being an awesome one. That actually led to me creating a WrestleMania 14 arena, which now is catching up very quickly with the King of the Ring one. There is a bit of a difference with the WrestleMania arena. I've made the entranceway at an angle as opposed to King of the Ring, which was head on to the ring. And then after that, I've got a few more arenas that you can see at the bottom. You should check those out. My belts, again, the ECW television title is kind of like my baby. That's the one that I created that's doing really, really well. And then I've got a few others that are just doing like decent, you know. Money in the Bank, got a load of those that I've just created. You can download these if you want. These, I mean, I was shocked that this one's doing so well. It's actually one of the top downloaded Money in the Bank briefcases. It's the least amount of creativity I've put into any creation on this game so far, and it's one of the most surprisingly successful downloads. It's typical how life does that to you. Shows are just simply a replication of the arenas, but obviously I've added all the elements for the show. And then movesets as well. There are plenty of those. I recommend that you download all my movesets. They are phenomenal movesets. Goldberg seems to be the popular one at the moment, but then Brett has slowly been catching Stone Cold. Shawn has slowly been catching Brett. The Rock is slowly creeping up on Shawn. And then I've also got these guys as well. Eddie Guerrero's doing really well. D'Lo Brown, I've finally managed to make a moveset because nobody else has made a moveset for him. So his moveset is now on the game. If you have downloaded either my D'Lo or another D'Lo, it's definitely worth downloading that moveset. It's a great one. So that is all of my content. And for now, I'm done with today's video. Please check out my YouTube channel. It's had a bit of an overhaul over the last sort of week. I've gone through a lot of the thumbnails. I've started reorganizing. I'm very organized by nature, so I've started organizing the content now by thumbnails so that you can see any of the videos that are similar to the topics that you're interested in. So if you're interested in finding out about bug issues, there are bug issue thumbnails. If you're interested in content updates, then they're the purple ones. You can look at those, the bluey purple. If you're interested in community creation, stuff like this video, that's the yellow videos that you want to look for. And then I've got universe mode, which are, the text is on the right hand side of those thumbnails. And you can see very clearly what they all are. It's either ECW, WCW, or WWE Raw. So enjoy the channel. Please give me feedback. If you like the videos, let me know. If you hate me and you hate the videos, please actually let me know. I'd rather you tell me than give me the thumbs down so that I know that I need to improve things, that I can make stuff better for you guys to enjoy more. Thank you so much to every one of you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm X Harper and you are awesome. Until next time, what?